All right, peace, peace, peace. Just want to come back. First and foremost, hopefully all y'all are well, man. And yeah, man, I don't want to get into this, man, because you know what? That's what I love, honestly. This is the real key detail about the Wire, man. And also, too, me, like, I'm pretty sure y'all, people that's watching this, brothers and sisters, whoever that grew up in these certain neighborhoods, saw this as well, noticed this. But here's what one of the things the Wire, like, did perfectly. I think, too, that's why season 3 is my personal favorite because it goes into, like, this is my personal favorite. I know a lot of people like season 1 and 4 and then 3, but for me it's always season 3, then season 1, then season 4. That's just me personally. But one of the key things, like The Wire did, honestly, and that season 3 kind of goes into this. And I was talking about this with a lot of people the other day, one of my homies and other people as well. It went into, even on the group I'm in online about The Wire, the Facebook group I'm in. It went into the transition of the streets, honestly, and we kind of talked about that the other day. I think it was like a week or so ago. The difference between Avon's and crew, and the transition to Marlowe's crew. And Marlowe's pretty much is a progenitor of what we see now in the streets, honestly. And that's what the show did, and that was very key. And also too, that's why Marlowe had to come into power, because that's what it is. Don't get twisted. Even though streets and stuff like that was always the same, like Slim Charles said, the game is he said to Cuddy, he said, listen, the game is the same, but it's just more fierce now, and that's just is what it is. But here's a key thing too. I noticed, this is me personally growing up too, that I noticed, right? And it's like, honestly, man, like the dudes that's actually the real street dudes, the dudes that was actually in the street actually will do something to you. They still, like, cause you know what it is too. That's why with the most of these, young brothers now, or young niggas now as they call them, or YNs, or quote unquote, or these young dudes now, they kind of try too hard, honestly. But me growing up, even still to this day, real dudes, real gangsters, real killers, things that nature, man. They don't act tough all the time, unless some of them might act that like all the time, or if they really on that. But most of them, man, they give you good conversation, laugh and joke, and they still be themselves. But when it's time for business, it's time for business, man. But I just want to go into this, man, because even the real street dudes, around, when I was growing up, me and my brother, myself, and some other people around me growing up, man, they told me to stay away from the streets, man. Honestly, man, they told me to stay away from that. They tried to keep me away from all that, man. Because honestly, for the most part, man, real actual dudes that's in there, they respect people that are themselves, honestly. So, and we gonna see this in this difference between during Avon's time, Avon's crew, and Marlowe's crew, man. Because remember when Cheese, which we're gonna go into, came to visit Marlowe's crew for the package, or I mean for a re-up. I think it was for the package or something like that. He said, "Man, y'all some serious people, aren't y'all?" But that's what it is now. That's why they got these guys out here, these niggas out here now, always grilling and trying to act hard, and but if you around actual street, actual real street dudes, actual dudes that's about that, they don't act like that all the time, honestly. So, but especially during my time, that wasn't always the case. Now, you had some of that during my time, but this is. But I like what the Wire did with the transition of the streets, man. And you kind of see that, honestly, now, because honestly, it's more. I'm saying that to say, because more likely now, these guys are over these most of these dudes is wannabes. Most of them, they're overcompensating, because a lot of them, they ain't actually like that. But like Mike Epps said, honestly, the reason why they act like that, because a lot of them are scared, honestly, now. So now you still have some dudes that actually some people out there in the streets are actually like that. But for the most part, man, what we see most of these guys, they're just scared, honestly. That's why they overcompensate. But we're going to look at this too. And we're going to look at this, and that's why the transition in the streets was so very, very keen. That's why The Wire did that little minute detail perfectly. But honestly, too, like Cameron said in an interview, he said, man, honestly, man, he said, because if you watch the mafia movies and watch your actual gangsters, things and they laugh and joke all the time. When you watch the Goodfellas, the Sopranos, things and they laugh and joke. But when it's time for business, it's time for business. I remember Cameron saying that in the interview, man. So it is what it is, because they think that equate that if you laugh and joke or something like that, that you're soft in that world or things. And no, that doesn't mean that. It's no, you're being yourself. But now when it's time for business, it's time for business. So and also too, there's a difference between interesting personality. And I like that the Wire did of personality with as far as like Avon's crew and Marlo's crew. But but that's just something I noticed. So. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Hold on, y'all.
So what, Mo? Just cut y'all loose today?
Oh, we're celebrating. Stinking got some points with some fresh territory.
Yeah, I heard about that. So how much is yours in the package?
20. But first we gotta run off them niggas that been down there.
Yeah, ain't no thing. Bunch of off-brand niggas is all. I know you keep running that pit the way you been, you gonna see points too.
Yeah, well, shit, I'm here waiting.
Hey, no problem. Why stay?
Yeah, I've been talking to Orlando, right? He said he got this good coke connect from New Orleans.
Orlando, huh?
Yeah, he want me to put what he can get out into the court. A little extra on the side.
I don't know, D. You better talk to your uncle about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what he's saying on it. Yeah. Today's your day, man. Steak day.
It's night too.
Yeah, man, we gonna break out tonight, Daddy. Bring some more Orlando's grilled pussy over there by Little Man's. Shit, rip off the smoke. Yeah.
But see, notice how they laugh and joke things in nature. Now we're gonna see this opposed to Marlo's crew. And that's how that transition in the streets and the difference between now of his thing on his face is crazy right now, but we're gonna see the difference between that and during that time, because during my time, honestly, the street dudes was in the street, they was more like this. Now you always had things like because even Avon said it in Sears, there's always gonna be another Marlo, even though you had guys like that during my time. But I was came up in a time like my dad, my pops, and the generation before him, and it was in the transition to what we see now. Honestly, I came up during that time because me personally in Philly. I saw this transition, how it was going, not that I was in the street, because it was like the Kendrick Lamar album. Honestly, me and my brother, we was good kids in the Mad City, honestly. We wasn't about that, but we knew how to navigate, honestly. But you kind of saw me personally, I saw a transition, between that 2011, honestly, at 2009, 2011, that's why I start to see, what we see now, honestly, with the whole beginning with the flash mobs, things of that nature. This is me personally in Philly. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll be brothers in Chicago, or New York, or even Baltimore, or, of course, or even DC, or out in Cali, things of that nature, or even in the Midwest, y'all different neighborhoods, y'all people that grew up, y'all saw it. But that was me personally in Philly, man. But we're gonna get into this rather than we're gonna look at Marlo's crew, see how the whole demeanor and it kind of changed. Yeah, so now we're gonna see as in regards to when Cheese, from the East Side, under Prop Joe's nephew in the show, played by Method Man. He goes to does business with Marlo's crew, and those are different, demeanor. It's just all serious and more cold and things of nature, man. And that's what Slim Charles was saying. The game just got more fierce, man. It's got more because notice them posting to we seen with Avon's crew, they was laughing, joking, still being, but now it's these guys. That's why you can see these these young brothers, man, with the whole with the shiesties on, with the mask, dressed in all black, trying to be hard all the time, listening to the drill. And that's why they can't be they're not even afraid to be themselves. Because really, most people don't realize, man, those dudes that's in the street, man, you get the more their respect when you be themselves, man. When you want to be, they can see through that, honestly. They just going to use you, honestly, to a point, or and then points in, they don't need you anymore because that you're not like that. But when you yourself, man, I notice this throughout my lifetime, they respect you. They ain't not really going to bother you like that. Not saying it's a guarantee, because some of them that are on a different type of time, but most of them that kind of stick to still to that code, which is kind of gone now, they kind of won't bother you. But yeah, notice how the difference between this with Marlo's crew, Marlo's organization, rather than Avon, Barksdale, and Stringer Bells.
How motherfuckers hate you? What Cheese go to enlist?
see their whole demeanor. See how they just they can't, they not even have a conversation, because in the show they did, honestly, the few times that or Marlo or Chris and Snoop would smiles when they talk about killing, leaving somebody in a vacant, murdering somebody. But that's how they it is, like I said, the game got more fierce in the transition to the street.
That's 25 back to Joe from what we were short before, and another 150 to up our order to 6.
Well, we had you down for 4. I don't know if we got extras coming off the boat.
Show someone else then.
I'll see what Joe said. Yeah. We set with the re-up? We'll hit you on that. Should be where you told us half hour later.
And we ain't using these no more.
Us neither. All we do is bring you from a 958 exchange, east side. Don't need to answer. Just toss it, go to the meet. See you when I see you.
Yep. And you see that? Yeah, you see the difference between the two. That's what it is, constant. That's why these guys now, they kind of, like, you know, and that's the difference, honestly. Like, you know, they have been hard all the time, things of that nature. Because, I mean, don't get to it. I still see a few times, like, that happens, like, you know, laughing jokes used that's actually about that. But it's rare now. Now you got to be hard all the time. Because actually real, like, you know, gangsters and real, like, killers, they don't act like that all the time, man. I mean, especially during my time coming up and the time before me, it'll laugh and joke. But it's like Cameron said, when it's about business, it's about business. But it's, I'm pointing this out to say because this is something to experience and also, too, what the show did perfectly, showing that. And that's why season 3 is so key, like, you know, transition of the streets, man. Like the guy said in one of the Facebook groups, and he said, from code keepers for the most part to, like, cowboys now. And that's what we see now. Because honestly, now, it's not even, like, I'll talk about this with my homie and my mom. I was like, man, these criminals out here, they're dumb now. Because that's why it's like, you know, it's the criminal mastermind part is the mastermind is kind of gone now. Because most of these guys, they just do dummy missions, honestly. They don't, it's just really bad out here, honestly. It makes the, like, law enforcement job easier. So, they just do their job for them, honestly. Because, you know, I'm not like, you know, glorifying that or advocating for it. I'm just saying that as an observation. So, anyway, peace.